All right, buckle up, everybody. Today we're going deep on a case that's, well, it's more chilling than any Dexter episode, that's for sure.
Definitely more chilling.
Yeah. We're talking about Mark Twitchell.
The Dexter killer?
The Dexter killer.
Yeah.
And whose crimes, well, they mirrored that TV show in a way that is just unsettling.
It's really, really unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our main source for this deep dive is the audio documentary called 48 Hours, The Dexter Killer.
Right. And what makes this whole thing even more, I don't know, I guess fascinating is the right word, is that Twitchell documented his journey into darkness, right?
He did.
He left all these writings behind that blur the lines between, like, is this fact or is this fiction?
It's really hard to tell. And, you know, our job here today is to kind of try to sift through all that.
Right.
Through the writing, the evidence, the events, and try to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
Like, what turned this guy, seemingly normal, aspiring filmmaker,
Right.
into a cold-blooded killer?
Right.
You know, it's a big question.
So let's set the scene. It's October 2008.
Okay.
Edmonton, Canada.
Right.
A guy named Gil Tetro, he thinks he's going on a date
Okay.
with a woman named Sheena.
Mm-hmm.
He met her, plenty of fish.
Oh, plenty of fish. Okay.
So she gives him directions to a garage, tells him just come on in, you know?
Mm.
Sounds pretty innocent.
I don't know about that.
What? Why not?
Well, what Tetro doesn't know is that he's walked into a trap, like a carefully constructed trap.
Uh-oh.
The door slams shut behind him.
Oh, no.
And suddenly, he's attacked from behind by this guy wearing a hockey mask.
A hockey mask? Okay, hold on. Now, this is straight out of, like, you know, Friday the 13th or something.
Yeah, totally. Like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And we find out later, this masked man is Mark Twitchell.
Okay.
And he forces Tetro to the ground at gunpoint, covers his eyes with tape.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine?
Oh, I bet Tetra's freaking out at this point. I mean, does he know what's going on? Like, is he getting robbed, kidnapped? Is he going to die?
I mean, who knows at that point?
Right.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Tetro, he fights back.
Really?
He realizes the gun, it's plastic.
Oh.
It's a fake. And they struggle.
Wow.
And he manages to slip out under that closing garage door.
Wait, are you serious? He got away?
He did. But it wasn't easy.
Okay.
I mean, he'd been hit with a stun gun. His legs gave out.
Oh, no.
Twitchell dragged him back into the garage. But somehow, he rolled out again.
Unbelievable.
Got to his truck, sped away.
Oh, my God. So he survived.
He did.
That's incredible.
Shaken, but alive.
So, I mean, that was close. That was really close. He almost became Twitchell's first victim.
Yeah, almost.
So Tetro, he gets away, right? What does he do? Does he go straight to the cops?
Well, he didn't, not right away.
Really?
He's shaken up, you know, embarrassed. It's understandable.
Yeah, I could see that.
But it was a decision that might have had fatal consequences.
Oh, no. For someone else.
Yeah, just a week later.
Oh, man. You're talking about Johnny Altinger, right?
I am.
That 38-year-old guy who vanished after supposedly going on a date.
Yeah.
What happened?
He met this woman online, supposedly for a date,
Okay.
and then just vanished.
Just gone.
Gone.
Wow.
And his friends, his family, they knew something was wrong
Yeah.
when these strange emails started coming from his account.
Like, what kind of emails?
Oh, claiming that he'd met a woman
Okay.
and he was running off to Costa Rica.
What? Costa Rica?
Yeah. Wanted to leave his old life behind.
I mean, it's a nice place, but come on.
Right.
That's a pretty wild story.
It is.
Did he offer any proof or anything?
Thankfully, Altinger's friends, they were smart.
Okay, good.
They noticed things in those emails didn't add up.
Oh, okay.
They knew something was off.
Right.
And here's the crucial part.
Okay.
Altinger, he'd forwarded the directions to his date to a friend,
Oh, smart.
just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
So they reported him missing and those directions.
Yeah.
They led the police straight to Twitchell's garage.
Oh, wow. So the cops go to the garage, and what happens?
They find Twitchell,
Okay.
seemingly normal, aspiring filmmaker,
Mm.
no record.
Mm-hmm.
He seems cooperative, denies knowing anything about a missing person,
Okay.
even mentions he was filming a movie about a serial killer in that garage.
Hold on. A serial killer movie in the same garage?
Yep. But there are red flags.
Like what?
Well, he tries to explain away bloodstains as, you know, movie props.
Uh-huh.
And in a later interview, he casually mentions buying a red Mazda from some random guy.
Okay.
for a really low price.
Wait a minute. A red Mazda? Wasn't that what Altinger was driving?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
The police are getting suspicious. They search his stuff, and on his laptop, they find a deleted file.
What was it?
SK Confessions.
SK. What's that?
Serial killer.
Oh, no. What was in the file?
Well, the contents, they're even more disturbing. It reads like a diary, like a step-by-step account of becoming a serial killer.
Oh, that's creepy. What made the investigators think it wasn't just like a story he was writing?
Well, a lot of it mirrors Altinger's disappearance.
Really?
It talks about luring someone to a garage, stabbing them, sending those fake emails from the victim's account.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the level of detail, the language, those parallels to the real events.
Right.
It was clear this wasn't just a screenplay.
Yeah.
It was something way more sinister.
So at this point, the cops, they suspect Twitchell.
They do?
But they don't have anything solid yet.
No, not yet.
So what happens next?
Well, the evidence they needed came when they found traces of Altinger's blood in Twitchell's car.
In his car?
Yeah, in the trunk.
Oh, wow.
That's when they knew they had their man.
Okay, so they've got the blood.
Right.
But what about Altinger's body?
That was still a mystery.
And that SK Confessions file?
Yes.
That ended up being a big deal in the trial, didn't it?
It did.
But before we get into that, what happened after they found that blood? Did they arrest Twitchell right then?
They did. It was Halloween morning when they got him. And remember how he seemed to, like, crave attention?
Yeah.
Bragging about his filmmaking?
Uh-huh.
The police, they actually used that.
Oh, really? How?
Well, with cameras rolling, they drove Twitchell around to different places.
Okay.
His parents' house. The garage.
Oh, wow. So they were hoping he'd crack under pressure.
Yeah, like appeal to his ego. And maybe he'd tell them where Altinger's body was.
So it's like psychological manipulation.
Pretty much. But it didn't work. Not right away.
Oh, so what happened?
He stayed quiet. The police, they even searched the sewers.
Sewers?
Yeah, there were clues in those SK confessions.
Oh, right.
Still nothing. It wasn't until over a year and a half later that he finally gave them a map.
To Altinger's body.
Yeah. Can you imagine what his family went through?
It must have been agonizing. So they found the body. But the big question is still, why? Why did he do this?
Right.
Was it all because he was obsessed with Dexter?
Well, I mean, the connection's there.
Yeah.
The kill room, the plastic sheeting, documenting everything.
Right.
It's all very Dexter-esque.
Yeah.
But the question is, did the show inspire him or just give him a plan for something he already wanted to do?
Yeah.
You know?
It's almost like fiction and reality, they were all mixed up for him.
It seems that way. But we got to remember, correlation doesn't equal causation.
Sure.
Millions of people watch Dexter.
Right.
They don't go out and become killers.
Of course not.
So there has to be more to it.
So besides the Dexter thing, are there any other theories?
Well, investigators and experts have looked into some other possibilities.
Like what?
Some think, well, besides Dexter, there might have been a sexual element to it.
Really?
Yeah. He seemed to target men he might have been, you know, romantically interested in.
Oh.
And the way he talked about the murder, the weapon, it had a weird, like, seductive quality to it.
Man, this is getting complicated.
It is. And then there's the theory that he was a thrill seeker.
A thrill seeker. Okay.
Someone who got off on the planning, the control, the way he set up the kill room, covered his tracks. It suggests he, I don't know, maybe even enjoyed it more than just copying a TV show, you know?
So you're saying there isn't one simple answer?
Right. It's probably a bunch of things. Personality, fantasies, and yeah, maybe even Dexter had something to do with it.
It's scary to think that anyone could be capable of something like this.
It is. It makes you wonder what goes on in people's minds, you know?
I mean, let's talk about the trial. Did Twitchell deny everything?
He admitted to the killing.
He did.
But his explanation, well, it was hard to believe.
What did he say?
He claimed it was, get this, a publicity stunt.
A publicity stunt, like for his movie. Come on.
I know, right?
Was he serious?
Dead serious. He said he just wanted to scare Tetro and Altinger.
Okay.
Then let them go.
Okay.
So they'd spread the word about his quote-unquote realistic film.
Oh, I see.
But then, according to Twitchell, Altinger got mad.
Oh, no.
Attacked him. And then he died accidentally. Self-defense.
So he basically blamed the victim.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But remember those SK confessions?
Yeah.
That pretty much destroyed his story.
Really?
Yeah. The prosecutors, they argued it wasn't just a screenplay.
Right.
It was his plan all laid out.
I see.
The planning, the language, those parallels to the real events.
Uh-huh.
And then Gil Tetro testified.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
He backed up what was in the document. Remember his attack?
Yeah.
It was all right there in the SK confessions.
Oh, wow. So the prosecution had a pretty strong case.
They did.
What?
The jury was out for 5 hours.
5 hours.
Guilty, first-degree murder.
Wow.
25 years to life.
That's a long time.
It is. But, you know, even after all that, Twitchell kept writing to a journalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who?
Steve Libuin. He's a college professor. He was writing a book about the case.
Okay.
Twitchell sent him letters.
What kind of letters?
All about his life, his thoughts,
Yeah.
his version of everything.
Did he talk about Dexter?
Oh, yeah. He kept saying it wasn't a big influence
Oh.
and that the killing was an accident.
So even in prison, he was still trying to make himself look better?
It seems that way. Like he couldn't let go of his story.
Even though it put him in prison?
Even then.
It's amazing how much he wanted attention.
It is. It's like this weird psychological thing.
Yeah. So what about Gil Tetro? How'd he end up after all this?
Yeah, and you know, Tetro's story, it really shows you, even if you survive something like this, it really sticks with you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The scars, the trauma.
Right.
He's talked about it publicly, you know.
Yeah.
The feeling of being hunted, fighting for his life. It's pretty amazing, though, that he was able to, you know, to come forward,
Yeah.
testify against Twitchell,
Right.
help get justice for Johnny Altinger.
I mean, talk about brave to face the guy who tried to kill you. Relive that night in court. I can't even imagine.
It's incredible. And, you know, we should also talk about the investigators in this case.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They put in so much work, putting together the evidence,
Right.
tracking down leads, all to get justice for Altinger. They never gave up.
That's so important, you know?
It is.
It shows you, even in these awful stories, there's still hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we wrap up here, what are the, biggest things we can take away from this whole thing? What can we learn from this case?
Well, for me, it shows how important it is to trust your instincts.
Your gut feeling.
Yeah. Altinger's friends, they felt something was off about those emails. They didn't ignore it.
Mm.
Tetro, he sensed danger in that garage and he fought back.
Yeah,
Sometimes your gut can save your life.
that's true. And this case shows how, the internet can be good and bad.
That's right.
Twitchell used it to find his victims.
But in the end, it's what helped catch him. Yeah.
Because of the emails and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And remember Renee?
The woman from Cleveland?
Yeah, she met him online.
Right,
Thought he was just a horror fan. Harmless.
right.
But then when she saw the news about the murders,
Yeah.
she remembered his emails. Him talking about crossing a line.
Yeah.
She called the police.
Wow.
Her speaking up, that's what connected everything.
That's amazing.
It shows you we all have a part to play in keeping each other safe.
Yeah, if something seems wrong, you gotta say something. Don't ignore it.
Exactly. Trust your gut.
It could make all the difference.
You could. This case also makes you think about, true crime entertainment.
How so?
Well, Steve Libuin, the journalist who got those letters from Twitchell,
Yeah.
he sold the rights to his book.
Wow.
They're talking about making a movie.
Oh, wow.
It makes you wonder, who profits from these stories?
Right.
Is it okay to turn real tragedies into, like, a show?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And what does that do to people who watch it?
That's a good point.
It's something we should all think about when we get into these kinds of stories.
Yeah, they're interesting, for sure. But these are real events. Real people died.
And the impact goes way beyond just a screen.
So true.
It's complicated, no easy answers,
Yeah.
but it's a conversation worth having, especially since true crime is so popular.
Yeah, definitely. This deep dive into the Dexter killer, man, this has been dark. We've gone to some really dark places, but, we saw how fiction and reality can get all mixed up.
We did.
We saw how the internet can be both, good and bad.
Right.
We talked about trusting your gut
Important stuff.
and all the ethical questions around true crime.
Yeah.
But I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
What if Twitchell had been caught right after that first attack?
On Tetro.
Yeah. Would Johnny Altinger still be alive? What does that tell us about, reporting things to the police, even if they seem small?
It makes you think. One phone call could have changed everything.
It's crazy how one little thing can be so important.
It really is.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there.